What is going on, guys? Welcome back. It is already 10 o'clock this evening. We have been deleting the lawn, getting our face shaved, our hairs cut, all of that good stuff. So we are starting extremely late. But what I wanted to do in this video, guys, was give you guys a rundown. I still get tons and tons of questions on the first gen, all of the mods, the whole list. So we're gonna go over that today. We're gonna go over the complete list right before we make all of our big changes. So the plans that we're gonna be transforming this thing into, all of the horsepower goals, we're gonna get to that also here after we go over the truck. But we did start off today. We pulled the valve cover off. We went over our valve lash one more time. Just took a look at our head studs, make sure everything is still torqued to spec. Went over the valve lash one complete last time. So this thing is now ready for the couple 100-mile break-in. Well, then we'll drop the oil, go over everything again. But we are ready to go. We are ready to drive this thing. Funny enough, I never changed the tune in it. I sent the logs out. When I went to go pull it out, I don't know, maybe because the front bumper is on it now, but the thing is idling smooth as silk now. So who knows? The valve lash was not even out, but who knows with some of these things. But we are in good shape. The Freedom Racing Stage 2 6.7 engine is now ready to rip. I cannot wait. We got the front bumper on. I actually forgot that we still need to tighten up the bolts before I pull it out, but we're gonna end up tightening the front bumper on. All we have left to do is throw the wheel wells in it. We gotta adjust the air dog pressure up just a little bit. It's kind of low right now, seeing we had 2 last year. Little odds and ends, but this thing's ready to go. This thing's ready to drive. But anyway, on to the first gen here. Like I said, I still get tons and tons of questions about this. So before we go ahead and make this big transformation in the engine bay, just want to kind of keep you guys updated. This is going to be a little bit more talking, but I really don't want to do all this talking in between all of the work. When we're starting to undo this thing, rip it all apart, I don't want to go over all the parts. We're going to go over that now, and then that way I can just show you guys the steps and procedures on how to do all the stuff that we're doing, as opposed to the background information. This is really just background information to give you guys context of the videos that are going to come for this truck. So anyway, without further ado, and again, if you guys want details on any of this stuff, go back in the playlist, subscribe to the playlist of the first gen. Everything is done in detail. It's not that I drag these projects out. It's the fact that I'm a very detail-oriented person. I try to give you guys as much information as possible on all of the steps, procedures, and everything that goes into all of this stuff. So anyway, all right, here we go. Here we go. Let's just start on the back end. This is a 93 D250. It is 2-wheel drive. Starting with the back, we have a Dana 80 disc rear end in this thing. It is actually completely welded up, so it is completely solid in there. Both wheels spin all the time. It's a blast. Obviously, we don't drive this thing on a daily basis, but anyway, that is the rear that we have in it. The slicks that are just on here temporarily. Everybody wanted to know about these. These are 18 by 12 Hoosiers. 325, 45, 18 is the size on these. These are actually the slicks for the 05. We have a set of custom-made cow tracks for this, seeing that they do not make a bolt-tin kit. We have a stock fuel tank, beans, sump, feeding a air dog for this truck, cranked down to about 10, 11 PSI for the VE pump. Hiding underneath there, we have a Muldoon's Stage 4 built 48 triple disc converter, rated to hold whatever you're gonna throw at it, coupled with his full manual valve body, which we have installed in here. That's a shifter mount that I made for the ratchet shifter that he sells. He sells TCI shifters, which now have transformed into B&M shifters because these are discontinued. This is the blackout version, but B&M also makes a blackout version. Pretty much looks almost identical. So now that we're on the interior, this is a Chevy Silverado console, I believe, maybe out of a Tahoe, something like that. Newer year, maybe a 10 and up. I'm not really sure, but it's a Chevy center console. Corbeau seats. These are right from Corbeau.com. Me and Mark made lower seat brackets, custom made the seat bracket. Corbeau does make a seat bracket for these, but it was kind of raised up quite a bit more, so we dropped that down. Inside here, we have a full gamut of ISPRO EV2 gauges. Got drive pressure, boost, RPM, which we might need to do something about that. That's kind of hard to see when I was racing, so we might need to get a big boy tack. I just do something about a big tack hanging here that I'm not really a huge fan of. But over here we have trans temp, EGT, and fuel pressure here, which we do have a 60-pound fuel pressure gauge. That way when we go to the P-pump swap, which is all this is all leading to the P-pump swap. So you guys heard it before, if you guys watched the last video, which I'll link up here. The last time we were at the track, the 12.8 that we backed up, that was it. This thing is now parked in the work bay here, and we're going to be tearing this thing apart. Tint, I always get asked about tint. 5% around all of the windows and 20% on the windshield, and you cannot see a dang thing in or out of this thing. Let's see, what else on the interior here? Oh, our man Ryan hooked us up with a black suede headliner. It's always kind of difficult to see in here. You guys also hooked us up with black carpet, which is always appreciated. Got all of the LEDs. I'm sorry, are they LEDs? I think they're LEDs, the green LEDs. I just got these off Amazon. They're just like $194 green LED bulbs. Got a Pioneer head unit hanging out in there. We still need to do something about the speakers in this thing. You still can't really hear a whole lot, but who needs to hear when you got a good old hood stack there? And I think that's pretty much it for the interior wise here. I think that's it. Again, I'm going to try and get better at in the comment section if you guys have any questions. The normal wheels and tires that we have on here are 20x12s with a 285 40/20. Pretty small tire, just because the fact you can kind of see that we still do trim. We still do hit the fender just a little bit here, even with the Moog 7226S springs that we have in there. All new brakes all the way around. We've gone through the whole entire truck. All new suspension, steering shaft, everything under the truck wise, mechanical wise, has been pretty much gone through. We kind of got a little sidetracked. Let's start in the back again. Went over all that stuff. It's lowered a little bit. We have a leaf removed. Got a set of custom shock setup, kind of, let's see here, kind of like that. We still need to paint the frame on this thing, I know. But also, I forgot to mention the Muldoon Stage 4 trans scene. This is two-wheel drive. Suncoast got us hooked up with their stubby output, which is basically the nastiest output shaft for a two-wheel drive you can get. Got a custom drive shaft with 1480 joints made. And then it bolts to that beefy, awesome trans bolts to our 350-ish, I say ish because the odometer stopped working, 1,000-mile engine here, which is doing a good job. It's doing a good job thus far. So I think that's pretty much it. The suspension setup I went over. You know, the front bumper I still really want to do something about. Maybe Mark has to take care of that. Got an On3 Performance 2nd Gen intercooler that took quite a bit of modification to fit in there. Custom welded end takes, custom intercooler piping to kind of meet the 2nd Gen horn that we have here. Custom hot side intercooler pipe. Where do we start here with the engine? Guess we'll start over here. So what we have a Steed Speed T4 manifold. You guys know that we love Steed Speed. We use Steed Speeds pretty much on everything. Steed Speed T4 turbo mated to a stainless diesel 63, 68, 88 turbo. Nothing really crazy on this. This is really just a box turbo. We may be doing something different with the air once we get the P-pump swap on. 4-inch downpipe that we made up. I'm sorry, hood stack. Downpipe, same thing. Drive pressure, EGT sensor, Kastner's Performance. We did send the head off a while ago when we went to go stud the cylinder head down. We changed the gasket out, got it ringed, 625 head studs. He did a little bit of valve work underneath the valves, nothing too crazy on the port stuff, but there is a little bit there. Manton push rods, I believe they were Kastner's valve springs, which we were probably going to go over, get some beefier heavy duty valve train stuff in here for this. Stock long block, got a fluid damper down there, no AC because we got windows. Let's see, got a Mishimoto rad in this thing. Let's see, what else do we have? On to the fueling. You guys know we always use air dogs. We got an air dog down there. From there we have our stock factory VE pump, 1/2-inch fuel line going to that. Pretty much as maxed out as we can go. The timing's cranked as much as we can go. We got a custom fuel pin in there. Fuel's pretty much turned up as far as it will let us go without it running away, which we've done quite a few times. You guys know that. Got a nice Keating machine valve breather down there, tappet cover, I'm sorry. What else we got in this thing? Guys, it's so hard to remember everything that we have in this thing. We got nice headlights. The link is down in the description for those headlights. I believe they are Rigids, I believe. Anyway, guys, I think that is it exactly where the truck is at. The truck right now makes a little bit over 400 horse to the tire. I think what we're going to do, and I think it's a pretty good goal. Whoops. I think a pretty good goal, and you guys let me know what you think. We got quite a bit of fuel sitting over there. You can kind of see that. We got another mini pump engine. What do you guys think? Maybe 800? 800 to the tire now? Should we shoot for 800? Maybe a little less, 750, 700? But I think that is what we're going to do. This pump puts out at max, this is a maxed out Ferrell diesel 12 millimeter pump, puts out 640 cc's of fuel, completely maxed out, coupled with all the rest of these parts here. But the injectors, come on, this couldn't be all. Thin Air Diesel, make sure you guys follow them. Thin Air Diesel got us hooked up with a set of these 5x18 setup for the VE setup. I'm not sure if we need to go maybe a little bit bigger on these to hit our horsepower goal, but anyway, we do need to actually take them out, get them resent out for the P-pump stuff, because the VE, the P-pump, the pressures and everything in the injectors, that needs to change because they are quite a bit different. Other than that, guys, let's get to the good parts. Let's get to the good parts. Like I said, Ferrell diesel 12 millimeter injection pump. Let me read you guys off the specs on this thing. I got them here. We got 35 delivery valve, stock delivery valve holders, 0 plate, modified AFC, 35 PSI boost for full rack travel, 5,000 RPM kit. It is pinned at 0, top dead center for timing. And like I said, 640 cc's is where it is set actually currently right now. Has 2 other stages which can go down to 450 and 340. 0 PSI boost, 110 cc, AFC in the middle, 2 turns of pre-boost. So he kind of really does a great job of, on your invoice, kind of setting you up with kind of like some settings already. So we are using JD's diesel. I believe it's eatsoot.com. Mikey G got us this adjustable pump gear. We got a nice Keating machine cover. We have our new case here. We have our P7100 injection lines. So in a nutshell, these are kind of like the big parts that you kind of need. There are some other miscellaneous stuff as far as like bracketry and levers and stuff like that. That's the stuff that I'm still missing. I know like Enterprise Engine sells a complete kit with the mounts and some of the linkage and stuff to kind of complete this area to hook it up to the truck. So I think I might need to order that, which I actually keep forgetting about. Up in the bin here from the truck that we did part out, I know I do have quite a bit of that stuff, but it's kind of rusty and crusty, and some of it's there and half of it's not. So I'm not sure if we're just going to order the new stuff, which would be kind of nice. So I think I might order the new stuff, but that is pretty much it. I mean, if you guys want to swap a P-pump on your first gen or your VE truck, we're going to be diving into this thing. We're going to be tearing this thing completely apart. The cam does have to come out to swap your case over, so we're going to pull the cam out. Oh, I did forget something. So the cam's got to come out. We got to change the tappets. We have Hamilton new coated tappets up there, I believe. And right in here, we have a Hamilton cam. Kind of see, brand new. This was when 188 220s were super hard to get. Here we go. I'll just show you that. 188 220. We've got a bolt-in cam gear here. So we bolt our cam to that. So we have a new camshaft for this thing. So the biggest thing, like I keep mentioning, and I want to get you guys' opinion. I know you guys are just going to say like 1,000 horsepower, but I mean, like, what should we shoot for horsepower-wise? I don't know. I'm going to call Mr. Seth Ferrell again and talk to him a little bit more about this pump. We were, by the way, awesome guy. not getting paid or whatever to say any of that. He spent quite a bit of time on the phone with me. I was really back and forth between the maxed out 12 versus the 13 mil. Back when I thought this thing was going to be on 6 months ago, we went with a 12 mil. But I'm going to call him tomorrow. I'm going to see what he thinks horsepower wise this will technically really support, if 800 horsepower is doable with that amount of cc's, with these injectors, if we need to maybe do something different with the injectors. Obviously, our 63 millimeter turbo is not going to cut it, so we're going to make a couple phone calls tomorrow, maybe see if we can't get maybe 2 turbos coming. Not really sure. We might end up just giving this to Mark. He's got a first gen project as well that we might be kind of giving him some parts off of this thing. But last but not least, this is always what happens. I get all these parts accumulated and then I end up forgetting about them. You guys know that we were out at AirDog a little while ago. You know that they set us up with a custom 4G 200 pump that puts out like 55, 60 psi and flows like 200 gallons an hour, something like that. So we have a custom AirDog pump that we're going to be throwing on this as well. I think we're going to be changing our feed to like a 5/8 line and then 1/2 inch to the pump from there. So we're going to be making a lot of changes. I'm not really trying to rush, hurry up and get this done. There's going to be some fab time with the twins, our compounds, whatever you want to call them. Our man Mikey G is going to come help us time this thing. Again, we still are on the stock 93 long block, well, the short block, whatever you want to call it. We're still on the stock pistons, which really limits us as far as timing goes. They have a very small bowl, so you... Anyway, we can only go, I believe, up to like 20s, 21, 22 degrees of timing. I'm not really sure. Again, I guess the one thing that I want to stress the most, and again, I know this was just talking, I know, but the one thing I do want to stress is these P-pumps, Greg doesn't know. Greg is going to find out. That's why we're bringing in Mikey. We're getting information from other people to give us a hand. I am by no means an expert, so if there's some ups and downs to this project, you guys are certainly going to see them all. But I just want to forewarn you, CP3s and computers and tapping on that stuff, I'm a little bit more well versed in this stuff. I know this is how I label everything. I know enough to be dangerous. So I do know there's quite a bit of work involved, and we're going to start tearing apart the entire front end here maybe tomorrow. It's been raining the last like 3 days in a row. It's not supposed to stop anytime soon. By the way, that brings me to my next point. Make sure you guys are coming out to the Dirty Diesels event in Harrisburg, or I'm sorry, Reading, Harrisburg, kind of the same area. We're going to be out there this weekend. Make sure you guys come by, stop by, come hang out. Me, Allie, the baby will be there. So make sure you guys come out, hang out. I think that's all I got for you guys. I just really wanted to try and get this context stuff out of the way, and that way we can start, you know, all of the wrenching tomorrow and the next day to come. That baby is getting driven as soon as it stops pouring outside. Needs a good bath. Alrighty guys, and I'm pretty sure that is gonna do it for this video. Make sure you guys give me a big thumbs up before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. I will see you guys tomorrow. See you.